right, I'm going to show you a way of working toward a deeper straddle with an active fold on the floor. So I'm going to bring myself into position here. And this is a lot like when you're standing and using the hinging motion here, except your butt's on the floor this time. So it's a different orientation. So I've got my feet wide. I'm going to keep my toes pointed and keep my legs as straight as I can. If you need to, you can always bend your knees, keep in mind. But from here, I'm just going to reach my arms out to the sides. You can put your arms in a bunch of positions. You can bring them to your low back. You can reach wide. You could do hands behind your head and make sure your chest is actually open. And you want to limit any sort of rounding down. So I'm just going to reach this wide and keep my chest open. You want to keep your low back pressed forward. And for most people, if your hamstrings are tight, this is going to be pretty challenging already. So you want to be able to come down. So I'm going to bring this into center and then come back up. And there's definitely some rounding in my back, but I'm trying to limit that and hold the tension around my core. Now I'm going to bring it toward my right thigh and then come back up toward my left thigh and come back up. Now I'm reaching wide rather than reaching forward because I don't want to encourage this rounding in the spine. All right. Now for most people, it's pretty hard to get deep into that fold if they're sitting on the floor. So the easiest way to fix that so you can come further into the fold without the danger of having to round your spine too much is to sit on something so that your feet are lower than your hips. So I'm going to pull out a couple yoga blocks here. And this will make the movement much easier for me. And I'm pretty flexible in the hamstrings already. So chances are, if you're watching this, you'll probably want your butt elevated at least a little bit. You can even go higher than this. But I'm going to set this up and stay grounded. And I'm still in that straddle. So I've got my heels on the floor. I'm keeping my toes pointed and keeping the legs as straight as I can. Now, I'm just going to take it like this. And I'm going to reach this out wide and come down as low as I can between my thighs, looking forward. And then come back up, and then over to the right, and come back up, over to the left, and come back up. So you're taking it from one leg to the other and take it in the center, all right? So that's another way of working this from here. All right, another variation of the straddle fold. So this time I'm going to use a band, and this will keep my arms overhead and keep some tension across my shoulders so I can better hold the arch of my spine as I move. So I'm going to take a grip that's a little bit wider than my shoulders. I've already got my feet set wide. I'm going to go through basically about 5 rounds of this. I'm going to rotate my thumbs back and pull. I'm going to keep the band up high and keep my low back forward. Now I'm going to bring it toward my right thigh and then come back up. And then come into center and bring it up. And then over to my left thigh and come back up and then back to center. And then come back up. Now over to the right again. And then bring it up, back to center. And come back up over to my left thigh. And then come back up and back to center. And then come back up. And that's another way to load this. So you end up taking more weight forward, but your arms are overhead. It keeps your chest open. And it's basically another way to deepen the fold with a little bit more engagement. All right, now there's always a way to level up and make things harder. So I'm going to take this through the straddle fold, and this time I'm going to do this with this bar across my back. A little bit more weight, and just like with the band, this is going to help me keep my shoulders pulled back and keep the arch in my spine. If you're going to add more weight, be sure you've got control of the position so you can keep that arch in your back as much as possible without straining your low back. So I'm going to point the toes and bring this behind my shoulders. And then from here, I'm going to turn over to the right. And then come back up, over to center. And then bring it up, over to the left. And come back up, back to center. And then bring it up. That's one round, over to the right again. And then I'll bring it up, over to center. And come back up, then to the left side. And come back up, back to center. And then up, that's 2 rounds, over to the right again. And up, back to center. And up, over to the left side. And up, back to center. And then up, that's 3 rounds, over to the right. And up, back to center. and up, over to the left side, and up, back to center. And that's 4 rounds, over to the right, and up, over to center, and then back up, over to the left side, and up, back to center. Now here I'm going to hold because this is my last round. So I'm digging into my heels. I'm still trying to pull my chest forward and hold the arch of my spine. And I'm tensing up around the hip flexors, right where my legs actually join the pelvis. Now here, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And that's a lot, but it'll take you deeper into that straddle.